In this video, I'm going to give a brief explanation of Sukkot. I'm Katrina and you're watching Checking with Yeshua. Sukkot is a biblical holiday, also known as the Festival of Tabernacles or the Feast of Tabernacles. It lasts for 7 days. It's a remembrance of the time that the Israelites traveled in the wilderness for 40 years when they had to build temporary homes. They built these booths. They're buildings made of branches and leaves. But its significance is that God tabernacled among us. In other words, God dwells with us here on earth. Those who believe in Yeshua know that through Yeshua, God came and tabernacled among us in the very presence and being of Yeshua. And then through Yeshua, we still can tabernacle with God and be with Him today. The biblical reference of Sukkot can be found in Leviticus chapter 23. In biblical times, when the temple stood, Sukkot was celebrated in 3 ways. One was the rejoicing of the place of drawing water. Water was drawn from Siloam in Jerusalem and brought to the temple every day during the entire 7 days. And this can date back to Isaiah, where he said, "With joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation." The second way they celebrated Sukkot was the illumination of candles. When the temple stood in the court of women, they would light pillars and pillars of candles, and even dancers of great skill would dance with the fire from the candles. And the third way was to build the Sukkot and remain in them for the whole 7 days. We can read about Yeshua celebrating Sukkot in John chapter 7. He stood in the court of women and he cried out, "If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water." So here in the diaspora, which means outside of Israel, they add another day. So they celebrate for 8 days. So they build their Sukkot, they eat meals in it. Some diehard people who want to celebrate will actually even sleep in it and live in it for all 8 days or 7 days, whether you're in Israel or not. When you build a sukkah, you make sure not to put the branches too close together. When you're inside the sukkah, you can look up and see the stars and remember that God is tabernacling among us. So this year, 2020, Sukkot starts today, Friday, October 2nd, 2020, and goes through Friday, October 9th, 2020, outside of Israel. So get out there, build your Sukkot, and celebrate the holiday. Until next week, ciao!